What is up, nerds? Welcome to Saturday. Welcome to me being a very tired bean. I haven't been sleeping that well in the last 2 days. And welcome to the weekend brain being silly and wanting to do something. And that something today is this. Not sure if, I mean, most of my regular watchers probably know about the Playdate, but hold on, let me open my browser. But I not open, but show you. The little thing on the top is a Playdate emulator. And this is a Playdate. This is a very niche 1-bit handheld gaming system, I guess. Yeah. And I have one and wanted to dev for it for a while, but never really jumped it because I'm very much Picoid coded in my brain still. That is why we went for the Love 2D stuff recently, because that will expand my Lua knowledge and everything. And I just woke up, not today, I think it was like yesterday night for some reason. I was like, hey, why do I not try like make a very, very simple Playdate game? So at least I dip my toes into the water. It's like not the balls touching the cold water, just the little pinky toe. And I have visual code set up for it. And on the top corner here, there, you see the emulator, which is part of the SDK. You don't need to own a Playdate for this. Like the whole SDK is free. Uh, you need the device to actually play games on. You can play on the emulator. You should not really use it that way because it's just an emulator. It doesn't work that well. It is not for that. This is just for that you can run dev stuff with it. And under it, like it's weird. I cannot really move my mouse there, by the way, because of this whole new resolution thing. But how is this? Oh, because I'm scaled back. That's why. Okay. So like this looks weird from my side. And over here you can see these two. This is the debug console, I think it is called. Not sure how you can use this, like how extensive you can debug with it, because I just turned it on today. In the VS Code, you can see a very little, very simple example. This is the example from. Is it inside the Playdate? Hold on. There is a very simple game somewhere in the documents. Signing for the Playdate. Dev forum. Also, in Spotify. But not these music. So let me quickly find Lo-Fi Girl. Oh yeah, I'm very scatterbrained, but that happens when I'm stupidly tired. This is not that Lo-Fi Girl. Not my Lo-Fi Girl. This is some kind of weird AI Lo-Fi. Where do we want today? Lo-fi beats. Let's go. I need to like move the Spotify. I'm changing so many things because of the fact that I had to change the whole resolution. That is a tad too loud because I was blasting music. Spotify should be here somewhere. Spotify. There. Well, let's get this out from. Let's move this into the UI. There. Move coffee down. Move spotty up there. There we go. Somewhat acceptable. Now find this stupid game example. Is it in here? Hold on. No, this is too quiet. There. I should be not that quiet. So what I want is copy this. That shouldn't be. Might be just mumbling to myself. This is what we have in the VS Code as of now. The documentation gives you a very basic example that you can fetch. And all that it does, I can launch this, and now you can see the little guy appearing there, and in theory, he's moving. Whoa, whoa. Playdate game done. Stream ending. I have a few things modified here for this example. One is the fact that this is not. I think it is pressed. Is it pressed? Is pressed? Yeah. In the example, this is pressed, which is a frame-by-frame check. But I do not want a frame-by-frame check. I wanted something that is a hey, is this pressed at the moment? Which is just button pressed. And it is just for one of the sides. So this is like the is pressed. It's a weird thing. If you're familiar with lower engine, by lower level game dev, this is like the difference between when you need to like implement your whole is the button released and such. So I'm using this one. And what else out do I have? I have a display scale. This is here because I'm very much so still in my low resolution art journey. Basically throughout whatever I have done. Why is this? Basically, I have always drawn small stuff on the small scale, like 8x8 or at max like 16x16 and such art. But the Playdate has a stupidly big screen compared to like Pico 8. Pico 8 is 128 by 128 and Playdate is 400 by 240, something like that. Screen. Design for the Playdate. I think this is the one that shows it. Yeah, 400 by 240, which is a lot bigger than what I'm used to. Like art stuff is still very hard. You can upscale the game. So for example, let me do this for 1. And now you can see that the guy is very small. Like very, very, very small. That is why I have like a 4 scale for this. So I can just see stuff. Yeah, you can see that how much bigger this is. Probably we can do by A2 scale. For now, I'm just, you know, fiddling around with stuff. And we will probably watch a few videos as well today, and like I'll look into documentations. You can see me looking for stuff here already because I'm very much so not versed with these high resolutions. I have to basically retain myself. And we have a SquidGod playlist open as well, so it's like we have everything for development here today. So let me move this browser over to this side. There we go. Oop. So that is design. Oh yeah, I wanted an example project somewhere. Playdate. Written. Okay. Not sure if someone has like their stuff in GitHub. Oh. Someone on the forums. This GitLab. Okay, I'm fine with GitLab. I don't mind. Demos Lua. Because this whole sprite system is really confusing to me. Function create ball. New ball. Wow, they are very much so ignoring everything I have learned. VFX clear, throw balls. VFX set color. Circle field. Oh, okay. So they are not doing it this with sprites. Okay. Do they have an example for sprite usage? Maker. BGB, welcome in. How are you doing? How was the stream? What were you up to? Pedal update, all update. Okay, so this will be something that I want. We are doing Playdate stuff today, but I am very much so a beginner with this, like even more so than we love to do. So this stream is gonna be like me looking at other code. Create all values. They create the object. Yes, I'm saying so. Haven't finished the game yet. More gaming ahead. How hard are you finding it? Because I've been hearing all kind of stuff. I never played any of them. It's just interesting that most of the internet thinks it is very hard, but others are like, this is perfect fine. Pro function. Are we doing this with a sprite? No, they're still updating the X and the Y by hand. Wow. Pretty challenging, but not insane. Oh, so it is like a follow-up to the first game then. No worries. Feel free to raid and run if you need. They have just their weird bounding box collision. Yeah, like not weird. This is like the standard bounding box, but they are not using the sprite system. Moose invaders. So Right. This is another thing I'm like so confused. Not confused, it's just weird to me. Because the Playdate has sprites, but these sprites are like actual objects with a lot of tied in functionality like movement and collision. Graphic objects that can be used to prevent moving entities, represent moving entities. So it's like a generic game object, I guess, is what you would think of it in other engines. You just have a lot of things attached to it, just as a sprite name, and my brain is fried with that. Though here. Animating images from sprite sheet. Still not. Oh, okay, hold on. Or Lua object source. What is this? Lua? Oh, these are tests. Right. I don't think you can actually attach more values to a sprite, which to me seems very weird, because that is what quote-unquote an object is. So what are they doing here? Import the GFX, create a new image, create a sprite from the image. Yes, this is the object technically. Then you move it, set size. Is set size? Set visible, set center, set size. Oh, this is get size, set size. Set the sprite size. The method has no effect if the sprite has an image set. Then why are they calling it? Oops. Weird. Set visible. So this is what you need, this add. This is what adds it to the like internal handling system. So then you can do this sprite update, and it will update all sprite objects that are added here. That is my understanding. It should be add a given sprite to the display list so that it is drawn in the current scene. Then maybe not. So this may be updated still, but just not drawn. Set rotation. So here they are moving it. Robot size. You can fetch the values. Like, hold on. It might be just my VS Code complaining. But can I do something like this? So player sprite vertical. And then do... Can you expand this? And now the drawing should happen here. Oh. So just VS Code, that is player page. Yeah, Dia is using the new mug she got. It's like a really cool mug. Ah, okay, so I can just do this. Just VS Code is weird. Okay. Cool, cool, cool. Then I'm like one step ahead, like my understanding. Oh, Fletch is also like giving me some info on the Discord. Sprite carries a special connotation with it. It doesn't get redrawn every frame unless something marks it dirty, moves it, rotates it, or you, the programmer, mark it dirty. It gets collision information for free and whole suite of functions to manipulate it, so you don't have to program them yourself. A gotcha that I fell into when I first started Playdate was treating it like Pico 8, read the screen every frame and do everything in one big draw function. The performance of the simulator was fine, but on the device it dropped like 2-3 FPS. The CPU can't handle that many operations, and if you can, you want to avoid redraws. Make use of the third system as much as you want to prevent large area of the screen from updating. Okay. Learning, you're learning. With some coffee. You didn't make your tea? You wanted to drink that tea for like days and now today is cold. And you did not go for the tea? I needed the coffee now. You have the monster, the loco. I sit up. Like, no. Okay. Monster is not cold. I mean, just ice it up. Do we have what is it? Whipped cream and the toffee syrup and all, or just the coffee? Hot dogging the coffee with milk? Nah, just the coffee. Ah. Okay, we can move now. So with this, still need to look into a way because I'm very much so used to. Hold on, let me show you guys the way that I dev'd in Leuven. This is my SSD. Gamedev, love to the low res. Let me grab whatever. Okay. Enemy handler. So basically, where I create a Lua table, and that is returned, which has its own functions, instance functions. And this is something I don't fully understand yet. How do you do this in Playdate, or what is the equivalent of it? Because once I unlock this knowledge, we are just free to go. Because Lua should be fine. The other stuff like API functions we can figure out as we go. So hold on, this is false main Lua. The sprite object. Sprite. Playdate test. You could probably look into like a SquidGod video as well, honestly. Might be the best idea. Rather than just scrounging in someone's GitLab. But I very much so prefer written like examples and tutorials still. I'm old school in this way. Not like API old school. I have a few acquaintances who are like very much so API old. Like, don't give me tutorials, show me the API documentation. But that is madness. Main. Okay. I saw a SquidGod video yesterday. Hold on, Flight said I'm gonna jump back and forth all day, and you guys will have to deal with that. Dirty. dirty red. Right, okay. Let's try to find how you like handle this dirtiness. Set always redraw flag. If set to true, cause all sprites to draw each frame, whether or not they have been marked dirty. Sprite mark dirty. Oh, here is what you can do. Mark direct, defined by the sprite, current bounds is needed to redraw. Playdate, add a dirty rectangle. Bounce the given rectangle in screen coordinates as needing to redraw. Playdate graphics functions now call this automatically, adding the draw. Dirty is adding the draw areas right dirty so they what? I missed the sentence end here. So Playdate graphics drawing functions now call this automatically. So I guess these are like these circles and rectangles, I guess. Adding their draw areas to the sprite dirty list, so they likely don't need to call this manually anymore. Okay. Playdate graphics sprite draw. If the sprite doesn't have the image, the sprite draw function is called as needed to update the display. Rag post in the current dirty rag, being updated to the list. Overriding single sprite draw. The circle. My sprite mark dirty. Oh yeah, we saw this, right? So what is marking the move to? Is marking the sprite as dirty? Move to? This is what that is, what is happening? Move the sprite and this is the bounds based on the image dimension and center. Set center. The bounds. Like what is, because I'm not calling any dirtying here. So what is causing it to be redrawn? The move to is setting it on dirty by default. That is what it's saying. You can do weird stuff. Hold on. You can do highlight screen updates. And there is nothing happening here, but in theory, if I press V, you saw that there was a little highlight, like a yellow cube. So I guess those are the areas that are dirty and are redrawn. So it looks like the move to is what is calling the dirty marking. But this is not shown anywhere. Or at least not in the documentation of move to. Like, I assume you would have to mark it dirty so it is redrawn in the new position. But it is not spelled out. So that is what is weird a bit. Gotland check, yeah. Have a great one. Bon appetit. Still don't know how to say this in English. Jó étvágyat, as we would say in Hungarian. Like, have a great lunch. It's weird how they... or at least I don't remember a phrase in English that basically translates to the end. Yeah, bon appetit. What was it in German? It was something similar. Guten Appetit? Something like that, maybe. It was so long since I learned German, Jesus. Guten Appetit. Yeah, it's weird that this doesn't especially tell me that this marks it dirty. So, BGB weren't in, I'm not sure how much you're interested in. The game only redraws stuff like the engine, Playdate, when it is actually needed. So we have in this emulator now enabled highlight screen updates, which should show you where the screen is redrawn, because the Playdate doesn't redraw everything if it doesn't need to, because its processor is very weak. But if I move my sprite, there is like a brief flash of an orange where I was and where I'm moving to. And in theory, this is done by marking things as dirty. And move to doesn't specify that it is marking it as dirty. But it probably is, because otherwise it wouldn't be redrawn. This is just weird to me that if you go to the specification of move to, it doesn't just tell you that, hey, this marks the sprite as dirty. Like, this just says that it moves there. Done. It says the bounds. Maybe this is what is marking it as dirty. This boundary set. What was that? That's the size, or what is it called? That size? No. That scale, get scale, rotation, copy. Update enabled. Set image drawing mode. Oh, this is some weird bitmap shenanigans. Set image flip. Flips the bitmap. The sprites collide directly will be flipped as well. Set bounds. Okay, so this is the bound set that they are probably talking about. Positions the size, the sprite, useful doing when getting dirty rects. Okay, so yeah, here, this is what is doing it. So I guess the move to is calling this set bounds, and the set bounds is what marks it as like this dirty recs thing. If an image is attached to the sprite, the size will be defined by that image and not by the v5 parameters passed by set bounds. In set bounds, and xy always corresponds to the upper left corner of the sprite, regardless of how the sprite center is defined. Oh, why? This makes it different from move to, where x and y honors the sprite defined center. Yeah, this is also very weird to me. Here, so if I would draw my little guy at 0, 0, it would be not, so like not this, where is a sprite? It's easier. So like 0, 0 for a sprite is not up here in the corner as in most things, but the center is in the center of the image. This is weird, to me at least. Get bounds. Okay. So now that we have went for the dirty stuff, we found an example somewhere, right? Where was it? Was it not in here? Okay, video time. Watch a long time. Learn the code Lua. Sprites, maybe?
Is this you? Your text is appearing behind the player. Your image is being updated every frame despite not even changing, causing performance issues. The circle you're trying to draw is overwritten. You have no idea how to use push context in your scared
No callback, no.
Then this video is for you. In this video, I'll cover how to maximize the use.
I found... Is this it?
In this video, I'll be going over
Yeah. This is the cowboy one. Yeah.
a 32 by 32 pixel sprite of the player, as well as a
Blah blah blah.
every time. I'll also create our update function here. In it, I'll be telling
My
all this, we'll be
lure.
extending the sprite, so I'll add them here too. We'll be creating a player class.
If you act
If you haven't
to...
watched my video on object-oriented programming,
I'm not
Playdate,
playing
there's plenty
Silksong
of
sadly,
videos,
I'm just
so
watching
recommend
people
checking out
play
my
it.
video first. We'll be extending the sprite class, which, as a reminder,
No.
gives this player class all the
Like the
same
only
properties
Hollow
as
Knight
this.
content I ever
Create
played
an
is
int method with two parameters,
the Pico
x
8
and y,
version.
which will be the starting coordinates.
I played Hollow
If you
Knight.
recall, the init method is the
I'm just a
function that
watcher,
gets
I just vibe along on streams. But I really like the little or the night guy who runs in at some point. It's like, it is like early in the game. The player's like fighting like a big moth bat looking thing, and there's like a guy on a little centipede running in. I love that guy. This is just so funny.
Is a sprite method that sets the sprite's image. I'll then move the player to the x and y coordinates passed in. And lastly,
Oh, we're doing
add the
classes.
player to the draw list. Again, this makes it so that sprite update function we're calling in the main file.
I mean, I guess it is OP,
Let's go
you
back
can
to
just
the
extend it
I'll
over.
import the player file we just created. Then I'll create an instance of the player class by calling the player
Oh,
constructor.
whoa,
Self
rewind
is
time.
the main file knows to update this. Right. Let's go back to the main file.
Do we have an
I'll import
init
the player file we
function?
just created. Then I'll create an instance of the player class by calling the player constructor. Then passing in where we want the player to spawn. I'll just put x is 30 to place the player a little bit away from the left side of the screen, and 120 to put the player vertically in the middle. If you build and run it, you should see your player sprite. Next, let's make the player move. Back in the player file, I'll extend the sprite update function, player:update. The sprite update function in the main file will be calling this update function every frame when the sprite is added with the add method. We can take in some player input by writing an if statement and calling pd.button is pressed. This is a function that returns true whenever the specimen is how much we want to move is at the top left. Since these are the same number, I'll go ahead and create a property called speed and set it in the is greater than 0.
And I refer it in the game itself because you just call the function.
The center of the sprite. I think it's fine to leave it as is, but new file called bullet.lua and create a bullet class that since it's an image. I go over exactly how push context works in my video on sprites, but essentially push context allows us to draw directly onto an image instead of
What he should have fuck up. Hold on, I need to rebalance volume a bit, guys. Bear with me for a bit. And I will lower it here for you.
the screen. We'll use the Playdate graphics library to draw a circle using the draw circle at point function. The first two arguments are the x and y position.
What is this push context? This is not something I'm familiar with. Push context. Pushes the current graphic state to the context stack and creates a new context. This doesn't tell me anything. If an image is given, drawing functions are applied to the image instead of the screen buffer. Okay, I guess.
Which we can just set as the radius. And the last argument is the radius itself. Lastly, we can pop the context. Bullet image now contains an image with a circle of radius 4. We can
So draw circle at point. We are not giving any parameters to it. Draw circle at point. Right? Yeah, it was given an image. The radius. So it is drawing at the image. That is what is
set
happening.
the sprite image to this image we just created. Next, I'll just set the speed to a speed property on the object, move the bullet to the x and y position, and add it to the draw list. To make the bullet move, we'll again use the update function. This time, instead of move by, we'll actually use the move with collisions method, since eventually we want to add collisions to the bullet to allow it to hit our enemies. Move with collisions takes in two arguments, the X and Y positions to move the sprite to. Since this is an absolute position and not a relative position, we'll pass in the position of the bullet at first with self.x and self.y. Then, we can add self.speed to the x position to move the bullet to the right by whatever speed is every frame. You need to add a collision rect to the sprite in order to use move with collisions. We can do that by writing this. I'll explain what this is doing later in the video, but let's move on for now. We can go to the player script and import the bullet file at the top. Then, in the update method, I'll create a new if statement to check if the A button has been pressed. If so, we can spawn a bullet by calling the bullet constructor and passing in our 3 arguments. I'll just use the player position as the spawn position, and 5 as the bullet speed. If we build and run the game, you'll see when I press A, the player shoots out a bullet. Next, let's create our enemy. Again, we'll create a new enemy class that extends the sprite, an init function with x and y parameters,
can I
as well as a move
manipulate these
speed
objects
parameters
later?
to dictate how fast the enemy will move. We can pretty much do the same
If I
thing as a
want.
player init function, where we create an image with a path to our enemy image. Mine is just called Goblin. Then, setting the sprite image to that image, moving the sprite, and adding it to the draw list. Lastly, I'll store the move speed into a move speed property. To make the enemy move, we'll create an update function and use the move by method to move the enemy left. I'll set the x amount to the negative of self.moveSpeed and the y as 0. Let's test this out by importing the enemy script in the main file and calling the enemy constructor. I'll spawn the enemy at 400/120 with a move speed of 1. If you build and run, you should see the enemy moving. Currently, if you shoot at the enemy, nothing happens, so let's change that. I'll first add a collision box to the enemy. We can do that by using the setCollideRect method. I'll call it in the enemy init function. The first 2 arguments are where we want the collision rectangle to start, so we'll set that to 0, 0 to denote the top left of the sprite. Then, the next 2 arguments will be the size of the collision box. We can use the handy getSize method that returns the width and height of the sprite for that. Lastly, we don't want the enemies getting stuck on each other, so we'll create a collision response function and return overlap. I go more into specifics about that in my video about collisions. In the bullet script, we'll handle the collision event. Move with collisions actually returns 4 things: actual x and actual y, which are the actual x and y position that the sprite ends up after taking collisions into consideration. Collisions, an array of things that the sprite has collided with, and length, the length of that collision array. We'll capture them into local variables like so. We can check if a collision even occurred by just checking if the length of the collision array is greater than 0. If so, we'll loop through the collisions array. Since at any point, the bullet could technically be colliding with multiple enemies at once, and the only things we collide with are enemies, the collisions array pretty much just contains a list of all the enemies the bullet is touching at any given moment. I'll write for index collision in pairs and pass in the collisions array, then close off the for loop.
That's handy, by the way, that with one I don't have to make my full own collision function. You can have something that is built in, and it just shits you back everything.
About a single collision event with an enemy. This collision is actually a table with multiple fields, which you can
the
find
fact
more
that I can just move with collision and it will vomit back every data it can to me is very cool. Move with collision. Move with collision. Final position of the sprite. If no collision occurred, this will be the same as goal X, goal Y. The array of user data objects containing information about other collisions occurred. Sprite, the sprite being moved. Other, the sprite colliding with the sprite. Wait, what? The sprite colliding with the sprite being moved. Oh, this is the collided object. Okay. Type, result of collision response. Overlaps. True, if the sprite was overlapping other when the collision started. False if it didn't. So tunnel. Number written 1 is here indicating how far the movement to the goal of the collision occurred. The difference between the original coordinate and the actual ones when the collision happened. it is normalized. There's a point where the collision happened first. Collision type bounce. Oh,
SDK documentation. The field we're concerned with is other, which contains the sprite that we're
yeah, the
colliding
other
with.
is the
So
one
I'll
which we
access
collided.
that using
Yeah.
square brackets and store it in a local variable called collided object. We can do a check to see if collided object really is an enemy by using the isa function and passing in the enemy class.
Whoa.
We don't really need to do this since there's not really anything that's not an enemy, but you would probably need to check in a more complex game. If the check returns true, we'll remove the enemy from the draw list by using the remove method. Then, after the for loop, we can remove the bullet itself using the remove method on itself. Let's try this in game. If you go to view sprite collisions, you should be able to see the collision boxes, and if I shoot the bullet at the enemy, it disappears. One small thing to fix is that the bullet actually flies off the screen forever, and you'll eventually have tons of bullets off screen that could cause performance issues or crash your game. We can fix this by writing an else if statement in the collision code and checking if actual x is greater than 400, which is the width of the screen, and
So
removing the
question here,
sprite
not
if
sure if they will like talk about this later. Is this collided object removes it only from the like call cycle or the actual
is.
update cycle
Let's
as
add a
well? So if you have a collision code which would damage the player if they collide, and you call this remove, but they still move, would they damage you, or does this like fully remove them from
spawning
everything?
system in
Um, this is like yeet it out from the whole system. Remove pathfinding. There is pathfinding. Hold on. Oh, there is built-in A star. I don't have to write my own. Heck yeah. It's not that it is hard, but like having a built-in one. How should I call this? Sprite remove. Sprite remove. Yeah, this playlist. But is the actual update still happening?
to the game to spawn in the enemies. I'll create a new file called enemy_spawner.lua. We'll import the enemy file and define our playdate constants,
This
as
is
well as
this is
create a
gonna be the
spawn
handler
timer
that
local
spawns them
variable.
all the time,
I'll add a
right?
start spawner function that will call at the start of the game. We're going to be using random values, so I'll seed the random function with math.randomSeed and pass in the current time. The math library comes by default with Lua and contains many
You
useful
have to
math-related
seed the
functions.
random. I don't
Random
like it
seed
when
mixes up the randomness to make the game different
seed it
every
by
time.
yourself. I
Let's
don't
call
care.
a create timer function that we'll make next. In our create timer function, let's generate a random number of milliseconds to wait before we spawn the next enemy using the math.random function. I'll just put between 500 and 1000 for now, to wait between a half second and 1 second. We can then use a playdate timer method, perform after delay, to do something after a certain amount of time. The first argument is how long we should wait, which I'll set as spawn time. The second argument is something special called a callback function, which is basically a function that can be called at a later time, which in this case is done after the delay. I'll create this function like so, and call create timer again to keep the timer running, and a spawn enemy function that will create next.
Whoa,
Let's set the
okay, that is
timer to the
super
spawn
neat that you
timer
can do
variable
this.
as well. In the spawn enemy function, I'll first get a random spawn position by using math.random again. This time, I'll just set it between 10 and 230 to be a little away from the top of the screen and a little away from the bottom of the screen as well.
Yeah.
We'll call the enemy constructor and set the X position at 430 to be slightly off the screen, the Y position at the random position, and set the movement speed to just be 1. Lastly, I'll create a stop spawner function that checks for the existence of the spawn timer and removes it. Let's try this out. I'll go back to the main function, delete our references to the enemy, and import enemy spawner instead. We'll just call start spawner after creating our player. If we build and run the game, we should start to see the enemies spawning and be able to shoot them. However, there's no scoring system yet, so let's add that in. I'll create a new file called scoreDisplay.lua. After adding in our constants, I'll create two local variables, score sprite and score.
So remove is remove animator. Oh, okay. Like, look at the difference between this Playdate graphics sprite remove. Remove the given sprite from the display list. What is a display list? This is not linked anywhere. I do not know what the fuck this is as a new incomer. What is this? And I go to a random code that is somewhere here, sprite update. And here, my sprite remove will make it so that sprite stops being getting drawn and updated. Like, why is this not up there? That should be up there. Where you define what the function does. It should not be here. It should be up there. Why is this here? It's like not even in here. It's inside this commented code. Like it should be either here or on the remove. Like I know I'm just complaining about stupid shit because yeah, I found it. I searched for it and found it, but like still. Ah, yeah, this calls about how you can overload it. So you can have like some stuff. This is like what this code part is. That is, it is explaining that you can override it the same way that Squid did it, like here, in here, basically. This is what they are doing. Like, Jesus. Sprite collision detection. To participate in collision, sprite must be, yeah, this they talked about. Only handles axis aligned AEBB, yes, that's perfectly fine. Handles tunneling, yeah, they talked about that. So tunneling is when basically, to my understanding, it refers to the fact when you're moving so fast that at the previous frame you haven't collided, but at the next frame you're like already past the object. I think that is what we can search for these AABB link, but I think that refers to that fact. Yeah, anti-tunneling. Yeah, yeah. Okay, I was correct. So it's like when you pass through the object with your speed that you have. Um, Tile-based games. Oh, it is good for tile-based games. That's weird. I would have thought that it is not great because of the tiles. Or most entities can be represented against which some physics, but not full realistic simulations like a platformer. Examples: top-down, Z or shoot 'em ups, fighting games. Oh, we could make a shoot 'em up for the Playdate. That would be fun. I haven't made one in a while. Polygons, highly realistic simulation, very fast object colliding. Simulation where the order to which the collision are resolved is unknown. Hmm.
Init method. Then we'll replace the ones with self.speed. However, we run into another issue. The player can move indefinitely outside of the bounds of the screen. Let's implement a very basic fix. You can check the Y position of the player using self.y. So let's write an if condition when we're moving up. We'll only move the player up if their Y position is greater than 0. When we're moving down, let's only move the player down if the Y position is less than 240, which is the height of the screen.
So I'm not sure if this is there like a mid function? Because that is easier to do it. Math mid path math. second. We will not know what our math library is, okay.
If we
Or
run
maybe
this,
there isn't.
we'll see
I
that the
mean,
player can't
surely
move
there
past the
is.
top and bottom of the screen. You'll notice that half the player is cut off at 430 to be slightly off the screen.
Spawn
The Y position at the random
enemies.
physical variables, score sprite and score. For the display, I'll use this as an example of working with sprites without extending it into a subclass. Let's create a function
So
called
let me
create
write
score
this question
display.
to Fletch
In
because
it, I'll
probably he
create a new sprite and
knows.
set it to the score sprite and set the score to 0. I'll also call an update display function that we'll create later. Let's move it to the top right of the screen by setting the center to the top left of the sprite with set center, moving it and adding it to the draw list. Next, I'll create the update display function for creating our display image. I'll create the score text by concatenating the string score with the score itself. Next, we can get the width and height of the text by using getTextSize, which we'll use to set the dimensions of our text image. Here, we can go ahead and create the score image. Next, we'll use push context on that score image and draw our text using the drawText function. The first argument is just the string that we want to draw, and the next two arguments are the position, which we'll set to 0, 0. Lastly, let's set the image on the score sprite. Next, we'll create two helper functions. First will be increment score. We'll add 1 to the score and call the update display function.
Trying to clean up. API only mention. Shoot. Code examples and sprite is removed from row. Like, I'm not sure if they did anything with the enemy itself. They just called the remove, right?
method. Then, after the for loop, we can remove the bullet
Yeah, they
itself
just did
using the remove
collided
command
object
itself.
remove
Let's try this in game.
and
If you go to
self.remove.
View Sprite Collisions, you should be able to see the collision boxes. And if I shoot the bullet at the enemy, it disappears. One small thing to fix is that the bullet actually flies off the screen forever. We'll reset the score back to 0 and update the display. If we go to the main file, let's import score display image. Here, we can go ahead and create the score image.
Score sprite? Why are we making this sprite? Isn't there a different thing for text?
Next, we'll use push context on that score image and draw our text using the drawText function. The first argument is just the string that we want to draw, and the next two arguments are the position, which we'll set to 0, 0. Lastly, let's set the image on the score sprite. Next, we'll create two helper functions. First will be increment score. We'll add 1 to the score and call the update display function. Next will be reset score. We'll reset the score back to 0 and update the display. If we go to the main file, let's import score display and call the create score display function at the beginning. Next, let's go to the bullet script and call increment score.
Maybe they're using the sprite because the sprites have their like dirtiness, so they are not redrawn if nothing changed. So you hit the text inside a sprite, and if you haven't touched it, it is not redrawn. So like not calling a print all the time. It's just printed once, and you don't touch it unless the sprite itself is marked dirty, so it needs redrawing.
Whenever we remove an enemy, if we build an image on the score sprite.
But does this mark it anywhere?
Next, we'll create two helper functions.
No.
First will be increment score.
Oh wait, there was an image.
And the next two.
Yeah, score image, GFX image, new text with text side.
Two arguments are the position, which we'll set to 0, 0. Lastly, let's set the image on the score sprite. Next, we'll create two helper functions.
Oh yeah, here. Okay. So they are setting the new bounding box on update. And probably that is what is triggering the redraw.
Score. we'll
That
add
would be
one to
my
the script and
guess.
call the update display function.
There's like
Next
so
will
many
be
things
reset
to
score.
needed to learn.
We'll reset the
I
score
need
back
to
to 0
learn.
and update the display.
Needed to be learned.
If we go to the main
I don't
file,
know.
let's
It's
import
like
score
some
display
weird
and call the create score display function at
dance
the beginning. Next,
shenanigans.
let's go to the bullet script and call increment score whenever we remove an enemy. If we build and run this, we should see our score display and see it increment whenever we hit an enemy. Currently, there's no losing condition, so let's add that really quickly. In the enemy spawner
It
script,
is so weird to me that I'm so used to passing every new object. Hold on.
really quickly. In the enemy spawner script, let's create
Where did I create enemy spawn system?
I'll create this function at 4:30 to be slightly
So like I'm so used to fetching these into an array so I can loop over the array and call the update function to everyone
off the screen.
by
Y
hand.
position at the random position,
But
and
since
set the
the
movement speed
sprite
with the speed.
system
Lastly,
like
I'll
calls
create
that
a stop spawner
automatically, you
function
don't
that
have
checks for the
to.
existence of the spawn
You just
timer
say, hey,
and removes
new
it.
one. I
Let's
don't
try
care
this
who
out.
it is, where
I'll
it
go
is,
back to the main function.
where in the
delete our
memory it is
references.
located. I don't give a single flying duck. Just there, new one, and the update the
The
sprite.
enemy,
Yeah, this one, GFX sprite update. This function just updates every sprite.
and import enemy spawner instead. We'll just call start spawner after creating our player.
This is
If we
so
build and run the
like
game, we should start to see the enemies
different.
spawning and be able to shoot them.
So
However,
from how
there's
I've
no
been
scoring
doing
system
stuff.
yet, so let's add that in. I'll create a new file called scoredisplay.lua. After adding in our constants,
Score
I'll go through all
display.
the sprites and check if the sprite is an enemy. If it is, we can remove it from the draw list. In the main file, I'll create a reset game function that calls reset score, clear enemies, stop spawner, and start spawner. Next, I'll go in the enemy script. In the update function, we can check if the enemy has passed the left edge of the screen by checking if the X position is less than 0. If so, we'll call reset game. If we run the game, we should see the score reset and the enemies clear if an enemy makes it past you. Currently, there's no bullet impact, so as our final task, let's add a bit of screen shake. I'll create a new screenshake.lua file and create a screenshake class that extends the sprite class. For the init function, we'll set a shake amount property to 0 and add the sprite to the draw list. Let's also create a set shake amount method that takes an amount and set shake amount to that value. In the update function, let's check if the shake amount is greater than 0. If so, we'll create a random angle. We can do this by calling math.random multiplied by pi multiplied by 2. We'll then get a random x offset, shake x, by calling math.floor on the cosine of the shake angle multiplied by the shake amount. The floor function just rounds the value down to the nearest integer. We'll do the same thing for the y offset but use sine instead. Don't worry too much about what the math is doing. It just generates a small horizontal and vertical offset. We can then
It's
decrement
like a
shake amount by
circle.
1 and use a special function called setOffset to offset our display by shake x
The
and
display
shake y.
set offset.
If shake amount is not greater than 0, then we can reset the display offset back to 0. In our main file, we can import screenshake. We'll create a local variable called screenShakeSprite and set that equal to the screenshake constructor. This stores the screenshake object into this variable.
Yes.
We can then create a global function called setShakeAmount that we can use to set the shake amount in the screenshake sprite. The first place we can use this is by shaking the screen when the game is reset, and we can call setShakeAmount with a value of 10. Next, in the bullet script, when we hit an enemy, we can call setShakeAmount with a value of 5. Now, in game, you can see that when we hit our lose condition, there's a big shake as the game gets reset. We also have a smaller shake when we hit an enemy. Things you could do to extend this code is by changing the spawn time or the enemy movement speed as the score increases, adding a cooldown to the player shooting, adding a win or lose screen, different enemy types, and sound effects. My hope for this video was to give you a general idea of how you can use sprites in different aspects of the SDK together. Like and subscribe if you thought this was helpful in some way and you would like to see more Playdate related content. Thanks to all my
This is missing on my personal channel. I'm following them for like, I don't know, 2 years. That was the, hold on, I can tell you because where is the, they had a video about, is it another channel? Or is it just so long ago? Because I'm pretty sure SquidGod made the drilling game. Is it not down? Yeah, this Gladiator roguelike. Like I was following this 3 years ago. Holy balls. And they the one who made the drilling roguelike game? Oh yeah, and I also saw this like so I'm like following them for like roughly 3 years because I joined in during one of these videos of their Gladiator game. I made a game that lets you share levels using a Morse code. Excuse me. It is such a nerdy sentence. Okay. Uh, I might fetch this book. How many pages is this? I just like having books. The size is. I mean, if it is more about exercises, like loops, OP, yeah, this is probably not for me then. Access tables, while loops, returning values, scopes, yeah, okay, this is not for me. And this is what we want there, GitHub. Because I can just check into the code here. Okay. So coming back to here, my aim setup. About after configure our game after this runs, just runs once. I think will be controlled by the was. Yeah, this is like a weird innate from Pico 8. So let's try to move this player out. Like a new file. Source new file. Hello. So we needed. Oh no, const there. Local PD. Weird. Local PD equals. Payday. You know what I realized? Oh wait, do I have it here? Oh, I have it here. Okay. So I'm still like learning my new keyboard. I haven't really used it much for like coding because I haven't coded for a long while on my own PC. Because my work device is a different device. And GFX. It is a const. Equals. Is it Playdate graphics then? PD, yeah, PD graphics. So you don't have to write PD graphics all the time. That is why these exist. And then you do the weird, what was it, class? Yeah. Yeah, extends GFX sprite. Oh, I tap danced my enter on. There we go. Finally. I switched to a different layer accidentally. Stands. And how is it? Is it this way? Is GFX dot sprite. Yes. And then you do function player, right? Function player, yes. So function player init init init, bro. That's never gonna be not funny. And here we move all this. Yes, 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 yes. All these, because this is the initialization of our objects technically. So we fetch in the new image, we check it that it actually exists, we create the new sprite, we add the vertical to it. I guess this should not be for the sprite then, right? But it should be self. This is not attached to the underlying sprite, but this. Because that is how you do it. We will see. Then we need an update function, which is player update. Right? Yeah, there's like no overwriting or anything here. And we yeet all this out from here. This is our player update call. And this should be self. And this also should be self. So if you press the button, increase, decrease the vertical position, and you always draw it to here. This is like some jank code that it is somewhat on the screen. And that's all. And now we just come back to here, and in the my game setup, just do player. Technically, I don't need the XY. Yeah, the VS Code already knows that it is not used. Oh, I need to import the player. Ha! Don't forget. Import. Just here, like this. Or do I need the dot slash? Nope, it is there. No, it is not moving. Okay, something messed up. This is not needed. You're also not needed. Playdate update, GIF sprite update. Oh. So is this not the problem? And well, they're also using stuff. Move by. Sprite, move to 12, self, player vertical. Oh. No, it is drawn. It should not be even drawn if this is not correct. Also, I don't like how I need to do. Oh, am I calling it wrong? No. Is it trying to call another function because I did not provide the two parameters? Oh, But I'm calling Playdate here, but PD. Like it knows Playdate. That button. Sprite update. I do have Sprite update still in my plate, right? Playdate update, VFX, Sprite update. Calling the my game setup. Like we are calling the scaling because the sprite is very small, and we are calling the player. Is this? Oh, they're doing saf.move by. I mean, I guess it makes sense. Because the saf itself is a sprite. No, that is not that different. Oh yeah, you cannot see the code. No, you cannot see the code. Oh, is this the problem? This should be a new image. It should be, what was it called? Self set image. Player image. Because I did a different player sprite, right? And these all should be sub. Yeah, that was the problem. So I did like a whole new sprite instead of referencing the one that I was working in. Let me quickly look into. Oh yeah, debugging. This is what I wanted to look into. How can I... outputs the content of a table, but what if I don't want to? There is a print. So I can do print hello. And in theory, No, it is not shown in this console. Displayed in the simulator's console in black if generated by a game running a simulator, or blue if it doesn't complete the device. The text is also copied the STD out. Oh, I assume I just clicked on this, right? And not the... Why is it not showing? Yes. Is it showing the browser on top? Dang it. It did not go low screen for some reason. And where's my console? Oh, now it is printing hello. Okay. Now we can see all the hello prints. I'm not sure if you can do like funky stuff on this console. Because I cannot really access a player, right? Or can I? Can I do... PLR equals... Nice try, fucko. But you are accepted. Oh, Daya, can you type something on the screen? I'm not sure where it shows up because of the risk. I haven't checked that, Jesus. Because I was reading from OBS. Ayo. Okay, that looks somewhat okay on the screen still. Cool. Cool beans. Thank you. I would need to move it a bit further to the left, I guess, but this is not the worst thing, so I guess I can still do this. So can I now do funky stuff like PLR dot x equals 120? Doesn't look like, or it instantly moved. So let's get rid of this move to command. Move you to 12 and 40 by default. There, and now if I go to here and do pillar x equals 120, nothing happened. Let's go back to the sprite documentation. Sprite. Polybs. Set image, odd sprite, remove, blah blah blah. Can be used to directly read the sprite's exposition. Do not set these properties directly. Okay, can I call yellow move to 70? Oh, we got something. Actually, if you can do this, I'm just messing around with Playdate at the moment. You know, move to 80. That argument to move to Playdate graphics sprite expected got number. What is this then? Memory. I'm gonna figure you out. Don't you worry. Oh, hold on. This is very cool. Hold on. Let me show you guys this. Create new window capture. Playdate memory. Lua memory. Look at that shit. It's like the actual Lua memory at the moment inside the Playdate. PLR. It's here. So why are you not letting me? Where do you? Why is it not letting me call the move on it? Because it sees it. Oh wait, it should be not dot but this, right? Move to 70, 70. Did nothing. Huh? Move by. Then 0. Can this not inject code into the Playdate? It says you're paused. Are you paused? Oh. Oh, if I open the memory. Oh. If you open the memory, it gets paused. But now I can actually do stuff like this. So like move by. And 12, 12. Oh. Okay. So you can do all kinds of funky stuff with this. Heck yeah. I'm liking that. Play the memory here. Get it away. So it actually works similarly to PK8. You can just manipulate everything that you want here. Oh, cool. Weekly. File new 16. Boom. There you go. Bullet. Control Alt S. Get rid of this. Come back to this. New file. Not billet. Bullet. Blue. And I need some. I'm parched. So what I'm gonna just yeet is this, so I don't have to type this again, and then I will try to remember the rest. So you define the class, which is bullet. Then you go extend gfx sprite. Then you create the init function named with the class name. Init x, y. And oh, I forgot how you read the image. Local let image equals gfx image. Select a new. Yeah. That is a new. And you are coming from I'm not sure if I need this. Might be just source images, big eye, images, land, PNG. Then I need to attach this to the sprite, so self set image explant image. We move the object to X, Y, or like this sprite. So self move to X, Y. Don't forget to add it. That is very important. That is what adds it to the global sprite, like registry or whatever they want to call this. And then, oh yeah, speed. Serve dot speed, maybe 2. Carlos, welcome in. How are you doing? Hope your weekend is starting nicely. I'm trying to learn Playdate at the moment. It is like my first actual encounter with it. Update. And how do I do this? Move by, I guess. So move by south dot speed, but the first south needs the semicolon. That's all. That might be all that I need. So now we can come back to here and say import bullet. What type of game are you making? I'm making a very simple, like, step up and down and shoot things and avoid things that are coming, like my very first project. The main code that we looked at is from SquidGod. He's like a bigger YouTuber on Playdate. Let me show you. Where is it? Playlist. Playdate development. And if you are somewhat following his video about this like little shooter game,
shoot at goblins to stop them from reaching your end of the screen. My hope for this.
there is the video, and they have a GitHub repository as well, which is I think this one. Because I'm very much not familiar with everything, so I have to look up like how you handle stuff. Because I'm coming from Pico 8 and Löwe, or Love2D, whichever way you want to pronounce it. I just wanted something that is very simple to make. So I like touch very beginner things, but still things that are good to know and can help you in the future. I need to create a delete mapping for my keyboard. I don't have a delete and it messes with me. I like your eyebrows, thank you! Like I'm in Toad, I think. Or Toad Lee? Do you prefer the whole pronounced? Or are you still fine with the old Toad? I assume you're the same Toad, right? You're the same Toad, yeah. I think Fletch's stream that we talked about. You name. But yeah, I had a few variations where this image had hold on, no eyebrows, and a few where it had, and after I saw it with, like, the skin color was darker a bit. That is how it had eyebrows earlier. How you doing? Button is pressed, and how do I refer to PD dot A? Okay, button A, I guess then. But yeah, it is a very simple game, so you can get, you know, get to know the engine and API functions and such. I always try to go for like very simple games at first, so you get to know the framework that you're working with. It is not self. You're just calling a button. Not button. Bullet. But I need to fetch this sprite's location. Rest of the sprite current XY has multiple values XY. So can I just say self get position? Did it handle this? Does it know that I'm passing multiple values to it? Bet argument number 2 to move by expected number got no value. Huh? What do you mean? Oh yeah. Oopsie. Oopsie, my bad. Indeed. Like, what do you mean? It is added because it wouldn't complain about this, I assume, without it. What I can check is print added. Yep, it's just not thrown. Huh? Is it not add? It is self-add. Huh? What? So it maybe doesn't know this? Do I need to actually do XY? Self get position. Why? Is this your problem? No. Are gaming magnet Python? No, this is Lua. Playdate and Lua. So Playdate is a somewhat niche handheld device, which is mainly known for its crank. Like, this crank can actually like flip out, and you can crank it like how you can do it on like fishing poles and such. And we are using its SDK in Lua. You can do it in C as well, but I have climbed out. Hold on. Where's my browser yet again? What is going on here? Yes. So, Playdate is this cool little device here. Let me get rid of the memory map. This cool little handheld device, which can be developed with either the C SDK for the Lua SDK. And I'm coming from Pico 8, which is a fantasy console that is programmed in with Lua, and from Love 2D, which is also Lua. One day I will be brave enough for C. I've worked in C for years. I do not yearn back to the mines. I climbed out from Moloch once, and I'm not willing to go back once more. I was like a C developer for like 3 years in like IoT, low memory devices, so we had to like optimize everything. Oh, Jesus. Never heard of it. It is a very niche device because it was made by the small team and it's kind of pricey. I did not buy the full price because I'm Eastern EU guy, so I do not have this kind of money. I got a refurbished one. This is like a really cool device, very low spec, but you can still do a lot of stuff with it because it is very optimized in a few ways. And the crank is also a weird addition to it. It has built-in gyroscope and a 1-bit e-inkish like display. Is it actual e-ink display, by the way? I forgot. The crank. Yeah, you can like flip this out and blah, 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 blah. You can do stuff like with it. Yeah, this game, I think, if I remember correctly, this works like you are moving the time with it, basically. Where do you find a refurbished one? You can buy a refurbished one from the site, actually. If you go to buy now, I'm not affiliated with them, not sponsored with them by any cover. And if you scroll down to the bottom, I guess, is it down here? AC adapter. Somewhere there is a menu for not a new unit, but a refurbished one from there. What to call? No. Is it not available anymore? Playdate refurbished. Like actual devices that they look out. Yeah, I guess I can send you this link. I'm not sure where you can access this. They were limited stock. Oh yeah, sold out. Okay. So I was lucky enough. It's like a 50 $50 sale, quote unquote, from the OG price, which is even more for me because I'm EU, so I'm playing like VOD and stuff on top of it, like more taxes. With this price, it was okay-ish. Something I could like say that, hey, maybe this will work. But yeah, this is how I got mine. It doesn't come with all the fancy boxing, the OG boxing. It just comes in like a paper box with the device, a wrapper, the cable. So it comes with everything you need to use it. But like it doesn't have the fancy packaging. It's just a very simple thing. And in theory, it is a refurbished unit, but I could not spot a thing on it that is like that would scream to me that this has been done to anything to you. Like, to me it looks like brand new. That's what I'm trying to say. And all that matters to me that it works. And it was cheap, and it was still from them, from like not, but on the Reddit, if you use Reddit, there is a Playdate, sure it's the subreddit where I saw it, but from time to time people are selling theirs. Mainly saw it on Reddit, like I don't know, like 3 units in the past 2-3 months, where people like, hey, I'm selling mine, are you guys interested? So why the heckity not is this not working? Did I mess up something? I have it added. Perfect stuff. That is the speed. They have a speed as well, but I don't have the speed parameter. But that should be the same, right? Or is it not? Rant. X. Y. Y. Yeah, why? Why are you not working? That is the question. It is creating them, just not trying them. Self-add. Yeah. Self-add. Bullet in it. Is named okay. Is the image rank? Is the image wrong? Hold on. Bullet PNG. Is it trying to draw? I just have it in. Oh yeah, my path is wrong. Ah. And you're not complaining about this? I guess that is why the... Hold on. As you're seeing my browser yet again. Ah. So this pathing is wrong. My player uses just images. It is not coming from the source. I guess the source is the default one. But if I remember correctly, the documentation example does this. Let image. So will this now cry at me? Yeah, now this cries at me. So it's just a pathing thing? That weird that by default it doesn't complain about a missing image. How did it fail? Oh, did I not restart you? There we go! Bullets! Bullets on the screen. Hopefully they are visible. If the Playdate thing is too small, yell at me. Is it 2 bullets? Is why this is weird? Yo, that is indeed 2 bullets. Okay. Oh yeah, because I'm using Express instead of just. Oopsie. My bad. The pathing was wrong. That was the problem. It looks like it assumes the source is the root itself, so it's not the project root, but the source is the root, and I had source here. That was the problem. Which you can fetch with an assert. I haven't had this assert, so you can go source this. Now if I restart it, the console will yell at me that hey, this is nothing. But after that, to me it is weird that you can call the set image to this image and the, like if this assert is not here, then you can call this set image with this none thing. The Playdate is like, I don't care, your problem. I mean, it is Lua. Lua does that. Like, Lua doesn't care about your feelings. Lua just does what you tell it to do. Sometimes I hate it for that. Now if I come back to here, you can move and you can shoot. Boom. And you can see the orange rectangles because those are the places where it is updated on the screen. So like everything else is not redrawn per frame. Only the things that are in the yellow rectangle. So now we have the bullets. And I already forgot how the collision works with this. Because you need to add collision to this so it works. So let's come back to here. Yeah, set collide rectangle. Wait, before that, let's check, because then this probably works. So I can just call self position into bullet in it. With this. No, it doesn't. Oh, because this was lower. Luo is here. Yeah, it works. Okay, cool. That also works. Expected. We just had a different issue. So it was self dot set collision. Set collide direct. 0 0. And we can do self. Does it get side? Oh, this should be a member call, like instance call. And you can check collision rectangles as well in theory. Show sprite collisions. Yeah, there's now a red rectangle around the bullet, like pink. I don't know if it is red or pink, it is too small. So that is the colliding area, which probably wants smaller. So let's try to do, we can check a sprite. So if you come here, this is 4:4. We want a 4:4 offset here. And how big is this? It is 6, right? Because 3:3. No, it's 4:4. So 4:4:4:4. Very interesting function call. So it is very small. Hold on, let me. It's very small. I guess because I'm using a scaling to draw these in such a big size. I have set scale to there in the update, like in the setup. So this should not be 4 but 8 instead, then due to the scale. I set up this one. I had to get used to that. Yeah, now it matches the outline of the bullet. Not that it matters for now, but at least I know you can do this. It will matter if we actually do a shmup game at some point, which might be the first game, honestly. Shmups are fun. Also for this, if self dot x is greater than, so 240 by default is the screen size, but I'm using 2 times scale, so it is 120, right? Then we do self, it's called remove, right? This remove is still weird. We have to like look into how it actually works. See, I have a Discord link, so Fletch might have answered my question about it. Or told if you know. Oh, wait, what? Oh. Oh, it's 400 this way. Fuck me. This needs to be 200. The 240 is the height of the screen, not the width. I hate that sound. I cannot pronounce that sound. That is not for my language, for my sound producing capabilities. I'm not sure how I can check if they're actually deleted, honestly. Because if I open the memory screen, the game is paused. Is there a setting for this? Settings? Or can I just not look at the memory in runtime, which is probably possible. I'm not saying it should be, like, I mean, I would love it. But controller memory, I guess Moloch. Oh no, Moloch is probably with C, right? Sampler. Pause in background. Yeah. So yeah, that's the weird thing. So I ranted about this already at the beginning of the stream. So if you come here and do remove, then it says to remove the given sprite from the display list, which is not the draw list, so let's not even start there. But my guess would be removed from the draw list. But if I go to one of the example codes, then it comes to my sprite remove will make it so that the sprite stops getting drawn updated, which is still not deletion from memory. So I don't understand how I just say fuck this, like, because I don't want my bullets to stay there even if they are not drawn or updated. They're just gonna eat up memory. But Squid in his video also used this. Where is it? Just here. It used self remove, and he talked about that being like the removal of the object, but the API is not telling me the same, which messes with me. Like, how can I? And I don't remember there being a delete on sprite, but I don't know, I might have missed it. Initializer, renew, with text, update. Also, this finding how things are marked dirty is a pain. Get image, remove sprite, remove the given sprite from the display list as with odd sprite. Note that this is called with period instead of colon. Hey, what is this display list? Why is this not explained or linked to somewhere where it is explained? What is the display list? Move to XY, move, set index, get index, is visible, set center, get center, center point, size, width, fine, scale, rotation, copy, update flags, get flags, tags, draw mode, flips, set bounds, opaque, background draw callback, redraw background, set time map, animating, remove animators, clips. Oh, they have clips, that's nice. Draws, group operations, callbacks, collision, set group mask, tail collision, reset group mask, collision response, query sprites, tile-based games, oddball sprites, and text. So I'm using it this way. Where is it? I need to look after. Maybe I'm just looking at the wrong video that explains stuff wrongly. I'm just calling this bullet edit function, so there is like no reference to the object that I can handle. That is what I tried to look up to the browser. Boom. So I'm just calling the init function, and that is what was weird to me, that I don't have like an array or something where I'm like keeping track of everything. Because without actually keeping track of them somewhere, you cannot like precisely tell one of them to do something. What is the ping? It is Fletch. Yes, it will be removed from memory. Odd and remove, do all the heavy lifting for you in terms of managing draw cycles, memory management, etc. Obviously, it's broader than just like character sprites. Everything X6 is a sprite, a cursor, political effects, or in the background, many pages. So interior remove will somehow get to the memory management. How? Fuck knows. This will be like a huge thread from me in the Playdate. I will have to find a thread on the Discord where people ask for help, because neither this like remove is intuitive for me, neither how move to marks things dirty for redrawn, because I've seen that move to goes into the, so hold on, move to it says that it does something with the bounding box, move the sprites, and resets the bounds based on the image dimension and center. So here you do a bounds check, and there is a set bounds, if I remember correctly. Set bounds, which tells you that position is the size of the sprite used for drawing and for calculating dirty rects. Like, it never in this call chain tells me when this is marked for being dirty. So like, hey, redraw this because I have touched it. And with how important it seems that you know what is dirty and not, so like what you need to redraw due to like the low CPU, seems very important, and here it is not really explained. Maybe there is like somewhere else where it is explained, but like, why it is not explained in the API function that does that? So yeah, welcome to my rants from an hour ago. I had to worry about dirtiness. It's just something that the API seem to be calling out. And for that reason, I would love to understand what actually does that. So like, I know you can mark it by hand, but I would love to know what functions also do it, so I don't actually like call something that does that, or you know. I just like to know how things work. My weird brain. That is why I don't enjoy front-end development. Can you give me some advice for starting out game development? Honestly, the best advice is just to start it. But you probably have a language that you know already. Find a popular tool for it. I think you talked about Python earlier. If you're familiar with Python, Pygame is there. Pygame probably has a huge community. Look into tutorials if you are that kind of person. Look into code if you're that kind of person. And honestly, find a small enough game. So like how I have this game where you just walk up and down and shoot things, or the Google Dino game, you know, when you have no internet and you're just jumping over stuff. Flappy Bird are all these small examples a good way to get familiar with the engine. And after that, basically look into games that expand on this. Look into a Snake game, because weirdly Snake has a few things going for it that are like fully intuitive that it is there. Look into, I don't know, small shmup games, because there you have to like vary with cycles and timings and such. Platformers are a good way if you want to fiddle with physics and such. But the main thing is to start small, I think, because if you start a huge project then and you are not familiar with like how the framework works even, then you're just dooming yourself, because you will smash your head into the wall of not knowing how to do things. Start small. That's the biggest advice I think I can give. If you have like the basics down, so like you can make a simple game, then my other advice is to come on to itch.io, click on jams and look into game jams that are longer a bit. So like not like 3-day game jams. So these are like online events where people make games around a theme. Join one that seems exciting and just jam away, because on a jam you will learn different things due to the theme. You can talk with people who are also doing a game similar to yours due to the theme tying everyone together. You can get a lot of experience and technical talk in Discord if people are active. And this is just a good way to give you something to work on. For example, Mini Jam is running on this weekend with the team Toxic. So now you have a game idea, or like a game inspiration that, hey, what is toxic? What do I want? Do I want a game where maybe poison is falling from the top and I need to avoid it? Do I like need to go around and clean up poison in the river and things like that? It's like start small. That is the biggest example. Start small and in a language you enjoy. Like don't start, if you are not interested in Unity, don't start Unity because people saying that you need to start Unity. And yeah, make sure it is something fun. Like if you don't enjoy game development, which honestly can be frustrating at times, because we are human and make mistakes, and sometimes those mistakes are hard to debug, and you have to like smash your head into the wall or into the desk for like 2 hours for you to find a smaller equals instead of a smaller, like less than equals. It happens. If you are worried about art, itch.io, open game assets, I think the other site is called. Like there is an endless amount of open assets you can use for art. So, oh, hold on. I need to. I don't dare clicking on itch.io because we all know how itch.io can be. But let me go to, where is it? Assets. Browse assets. Please don't be porn in here. Thank you. Jesus. itch.io. So you can come to game assets. You can go browse assets. And for example, here, Sproutlands assets pack. This person has uploaded this cool little asset pack with everything. And if I saw this correctly, it was free. Like pay what you want. You can come down to here. Jesus Christ, how long is this page? And yeah, name your own pie. So you go download now. You can tip them if you want and you enjoy it, or you can go to no, just take me to the downloads. Download. Now I have this cool asset pack with sprites. Same goes for sound. You can find a lot of sound online. Yeah, join. If you found an engine and a language that seems interesting to you, join communities around it, whether on like your social media / community platform of choice. Let that be Discord, let that be a Facebook group, let that be an IRC channel, let that be Reddit, Instagram, Blue Sky, Twitter, whatever you want. Just join, look around, talk with people, ask if you like stuck on something, ask for some help, try to learn from people. This is just a huge learning curve. If you're a programmer, probably not. Like if your day trade is being a programmer, it is a bit easier. If it is not, give yourself time. It is very much so an experience builds results kind of hobby. But yeah, start small. For example, I think Nerdy Teachers does. Also, thank you the follow, Kind Stranger. You have anonymous follows on. Feel free to talk or introduce yourself if you want. I'm sorry for the delay. I'm just yapping away about game development. So, for example, Nerdy is a Pico 8 content creator. Where is the... Is it this? Tutorials, yes. So for example, Nerdy's first tutorial is about... Let's have it play the game. Let me show you how easy this game is. That might be loud, I'm sorry. Nerdy's very first tutorial does this. You are just guy walking around and trying to catch fruit that is falling from down. And this can be already like expanded in the future if you want, but we'll handle a lot of things that you will need in the future. How to spawn things, how to have a player that moves, how to do collision, because this is collision based, of course, how to draw stuff. This is because it's specific, but a game like this can be done in any game engine or framework of your choice. But yeah, just start small. That is my biggest advice, and I think where most people fail. Like everyone wants to make an FPS or an MMO or an open world survival game, and if you haven't touched coding first and have like years of experience, I would not advise anyone to even go close to that. Like even just a simple Mario-like platformer games, Mario-like platformer game has so much things going for it that it can be weird. Everyone to make Dark Souls, yeah, like, oh, even like a simple beat 'em up game. Beat 'em up? Yeah, beat 'em up game has like so many things going for it, timing, collisions, how to create the in real life collision boxes in the same way that your movement is. Yeah, and just add bullet and you have shmup. Exactly. Let your player move up and down and you have a weird snake. Like you can do all kinds of stupid stuff, from like expanding from small examples from like this. Where were we? Long tangent, but I don't like tangent like that. That is why we are here. Bullets and memory management, right? That was where we got mine. Do you mind if I send a playdate? Probably you can just whisper it, because I don't know how like give quick access, because I have links disabled. Not bad. But if you whisper to me, we can check it out. The fluffy potato and clear code on YouTube would be good places to get started with Py game. No, there you go. If you are interested in Python, I'm not sure. I think we talked about that, or I think you asked if I am doing in Python. Just find a good and somewhat known framework. So if you're a C developer, go to Game Engines in C. Press enter and you can go to like games from scratch. And there you go. Unreal, Uni Engine, Freeode, Godot. This is the okay choice. Like Godot is... Honestly, I wouldn't exactly recommend Godot for everyone, but it is a very well-known and growing engine thing. Bam! And Team High reply. Calling self-remove is enough to destroy the sprite as long as there are no other references to the sprite object. Yeah, but how do I... like, this is where I was like, not sure how the references do. Bullet is a local variable that does not have a reference outside of the scope of the function, so it will be marked as garbage as soon as you remove it from the display list. So I guess because I don't have it attached to any other object, because technically I do not attach it to an array in the player object, it is removed. It will be removed. Depending on the amount of bullets you're creating, it might be better to have a cache of bullets and reuse them. Yeah, this is what is it called? Object pooling, I think it's the proper term for this. Bullets and reuse them instead of destroying and creating new ones. I think it's called object pooling. Like technicality, when you have a set amount of objects that you are reusing over and over and over instead of creating new ones, because creating and deleting has an overhead in the memory stuff. And if you do that a lot of times, it can do weird things. Yeah, that's what they're talking about here. Also keep in mind that the simulator has a malloc log that lets you see the memory leaking. In view map section and check automatic refresh to see the location. Oh, hold on. View malloc log. Restore. So I wanted the wrong. I looked at the wrong malloc section. Oh, will it restart, or do I need to make it restart? Oh, it is thinking on something. So view show malloc log. There is the malloc log. Can go to map, automatically refresh. Can I zoom on this? This is very small now. Why can I zoom on this? Can I come to the list and can I see? Is it just assembly here? Addresses? Easings. Invert stack. To octave only. Is it down? Moloch, my beloved. Oh no. I'm just traumatized by C. Oh, wait, what? Oh, it does categorizes? This object, update timers. So I can see the odds. So this should 2798. I guess this is the time spent on the it's weird that I cannot see it here. Can I spam this so hard that I can see it on the map? Oh, you can see the green takeover, yes. Honestly, I would love clear Moloch history. I would love a little bit more details on this, but it's a good thing. Game engine I'm using is Unity. Do you know any YouTubers for Unity? Not yet anymore. It's the guy who turned to Godot is who I know. But there should be a lot of Unity developers because that is still somehow one of the most popular game dev choices. A bit beyond me, but to each their own. What was they called? Brackies? Brackies, right? That's their name. But honestly, Unity or 195, so you are not missing like on a rolling release. Oh, GMTK had a Unity video? Oh, Breckies had a lot of videos, but those are old. I'm not sure how up to date they are anymore because Unity went to my understanding, it is a rolling release at this point. So not sure how they are breaking stuff. But yeah, just look around to YouTubers who enjoy and their videos maybe not that long and just... Yeah, Code Monkey. Code Monkey is a big known YouTuber. Not sure what they are doing anymore, I'm not sure. But back then they were making a lot of cool stuff. But yeah, joining like Unity-based communities, your medias that you use is also probably a great place. They should have like community, what's it called? Like materials that you can look into, and they probably link to like usable stuff. Back to memory collision. I have to change for the verse. I always rant about Unity because I made my thesis back in Unity, and they transitioned the API with multiple breaking changes in a year 3 times. So I had to rewrite my whole thesis project like twice. And after that I never touched it again. I will never touch it again. And with the recent stuff, but like if someone enjoys it, like it is a very well known and used professional tool. There are a lot of tutorials and assets and add-ons and plugins for it. So like Unity is carried by its popularity. I ventured into Lua, I ventured into Pico 8. It's a really cool tool, but I wouldn't say it is for everyone. And then I ventured to Left2D, which is still Lua. But yeah. If I would not do these and I would do an editor-based engine, I would probably go Godot, but there are things that I don't fully like in Godot. Bullet. So this should clear itself up then. Which is weird that it doesn't talk about that. Unity is carried by having a good reputation in the past, yeah. Oh yeah, Game Maker is there also. That is also one of the big 3, 4, 5s. I don't know how to say that today. Game Maker Studio. I know a dev friend who does Construct because they are weird like that. The Construct devs. Enemies. We want enemies. Pa, 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 pa. So let's draw something that looks like an enemy. It doesn't need to be nice, we are just learning still. Oh, this is better. Bam. There we go. Works. Probably like this. Looks like more of horns. Save as. Should I change to a different game engine? How much experience do you have in Unity? And if you enjoy and tried it out and enjoy the works of it, then you should not. Because you're enjoying that tool. And you will enjoy learning with that too. That is the main thing. Like if you are using a tool that you do not enjoy, then the learning process will be just insufferable and you will not continue with it. If you tried Unity out, and you feel like it matches with you, then there is nothing stopping you from using Unity. We are talking as people who probably tried out multiple tools and engines and That is why we are shitting on Unity, because it has things that we don't like. And the CEO says stupid thing, which a hobby developer should not really concern themselves with. I think is like the nice phrase. Like if you're just learning and you enjoy Unity, use Unity. It's like the same way that if you are enjoying your hobby, you will get better in your hobby. Like I would not advise you to switch to a different engine that you would not enjoy instead of Unity, just for the sake of it not being Unity. Like if that transition is gonna happen because you do not use the tool, that it is gonna happen somewhere down in the future, or you can just stuck with Unity. And if that is your tool of choice, then go for it. It's not the tool of the trade, it's what you make. Like at the end, the gamers, if you are making games so people play it, the average gamer doesn't care what tool you use to make their favorite game. Right? The difference is, do you enjoy using that tool? And does that tool let you do what you want to do? If both are yes, then use the tool. So many engines to find something that I will play it. Yeah. Like where did I start? I started with basic. Did a little bit of construct. Unity, Godot, Pico 8, TIC 80, back to Pico 8, Löwe, and Playdate. And I'm probably gonna stuck with the Pico 8, Löwe, Playdate trio. Did I try anything else? Not really. There are like a few little quirky little game engines that I would love to try out at some point. Like if I don't count the company and where it is heading, I just found Unity back when I used it. I found it just clunky and slow. I'm not sure if it is the case still. But like still, if someone likes it, that's the best tool. If you know how to use it and you like to use it, that is your best tool. If you can light a fire with 2 sticks faster than with me, with a whatever, a flint, and you like using a fire stick, use the fire stick. If you like your cake with cinnamon, eat your cake with cinnamon. Thank you for the follow, guys. Ranger. Follow goal, heck yeah! 220, 220, 210. Thank you so much. Feel free to lurk around if you want, or feel free to introduce yourself. We're just yapping about game dev at the moment, without game deving ourselves. Enemy, we have an enemy.
Hello there.
Why is that hello there is still... I need to figure out why that hello there is still playing, because that is still from Streamlabs, and I should have disconnected... In theory I disconnected everything from Streamlabs. Streamlabs? Streamlabs, right? Not Streamlabs. Is it Streamlabs? The weird thing that tried to copy the OBS without actually asking for copyright. Enemy... Fire metaphor, yeah. It's like, if you like your muffins with apple and cinnamon, eat your muffin with apple and cinnamon. The fact that I like a blueberry banana muffin should not discourage you from eating yours with apple and cinnamon. To each their own. In the end, it is not the tool that will count, but what you do. Found the enemy. I was searching for the enemy file for so long. And I almost forgot how you override a class. Class... Enemy, right? dot extends GFX function. It is a miracle that I can program somewhat on this keyboard still. Jesus. Enemy in it. That's why. I mean, X is probably. I think we can leave it. And so we need local enemy image. GFX. Is it new image? Is it image new? Image new? Image. This is the file name. I'm not sure if we even need a PNG or it can just fetch the enemy by itself. I don't know how it works. Said that it exists. And then self set image. Oh, brain. Enemy image. Holy. I got a brain fart so hard it is not even funny. Move to XY. Was such a big brain fart. I'm missing something. I'm missing the add that is handled by the engine. Set image, move to add. Is that all that I need? It might be all that I need. Function, enemy. Okay. I need to move my arrow key remap, or just need to remember to hold my fingers on the home row. Yeah, for some reason I'm holding it one over. Okay, that is the problem. Like trying to figure out why my settings are still not great. Switch to an ortho staggered split keyboard and still learning the ropes and all the mappings and such, because it is not 100%. Because my previous keyboard was 100% with numpads and such. So it's like the full shebang that you can have on a keyboard. And this is just a 54 keyed split one, so there are a lot of things you have to remap. Speed. Gas. We're gonna set the gas. Self.speed equals 2, I guess. And self move by self speed zero. You don't move. Oh, this is not a select mode. Is a member. Yes. So now first try to add an enemy simply. And then we can try to make the emitter by memory. Enemy. Enemy. What is it? 200. Whatever, 64, 55. I messed up. This speed needs to be negative, or I guess it should be negative here. Because we need to go to the left. Oh, session failed. Init, global enemy, my game setup. Is it images? Oh, it is images. Wrong directory name, but this is why I have the assert. Oh, there he goes. Can I restart it? Restart? Yeah, there it goes. Little enemy. So, oh yeah, they need the collision as well. Let me. And I forgot already. Self set collision. Well, direct. 0. My 0 is on the other side of the keyboard now. 0 0. What was it? Self.get size. Also get size. Probably. Yep. So now we need to figure out the collision itself. And that was a bit weird. Do you think you will watch the Minecraft live later? Oh, today you will be live? I don't always check it, but I remember I check it. In an hour? Probably not then. If it was like half an hour or something, then yes, but I haven't had dinner yet. It's like the new update, right? With all the copper stuff that they're doing, the copper golems and such. The copper golem looks interesting. It's like a cute idea that solves storage in a way. The only problem with it that player storage, like current storage that you still have on you, is still not solved. Just give us a backpack for goodness sake. Like, every second mod is a backpack mod for a reason. Either give us bigger inventory or just give us backpacks. Like, there are so many blocks in this game already, even in vanilla. Uh-oh. Oh no. For some reason I thought I'm on some weird layer. If I remember, I will watch it, like offline. Our usual stream time is like 3 hours from 3 a.m. It's slowly approaching. I'd love to create the collision and the emitters, but we'll see. Because hunger is slowly setting in as well. Which doesn't help my sleepy brain, holy. I wish I can sleep today. Like, okay, in an okay-ish way. I don't need a full sleep. Just don't want to be waken up by anything. Jesus. Collision. How was it done? I don't remember collision. We need to check that. Does this? No, okay. Now let me like increase this for y'all, but we are calling this move with collision. Oh, this is the function that gives back the huge response, right? What eats me the big table. Yeah. I remember this huge table. This is like all the return values that you get. I mean, probably we can do it with this, so let's try to do it with the API itself. So we are removing this because we are not moving by move by. We're gonna move by local actual, like current dot x, current x, I guess, current y, care about collisions? Oh yeah, this is 4 return values. Okay, so collisions. Off. I can disable the browser for now because you don't need to see me like switching back and forth. Collisions length. This equals self move with collision. And what is the parameter for this? The speed, same. Goal X, goal Y, or goal point? Goal X, goal Y. So do I need to do self dot X plus self dot speed? Self dot Y, because this is where I want to move? That's how it is done in the tutorial. Self X, self speed. Yeah, okay. I'm onto the function. And now check if length is greater than 0, so we have a collision. If length, I cannot spell it, but it will be fine. Then there was a weird function to check if something is something. For this doesn't matter. Collision object in hypers collision 2. So now we loop over every collision object, and if collision object was like something is A, yeah, that is a function, is A, and I think it was just supplied with enemy. But we will have to figure this out then. I probably need to import enemy here so it knows what an enemy is. Import enemy. There. I need to look for why this is not colored, this import. I don't like how it is not colored. Is it like this? Oh, okay, we forgot this line. So this is not how you, I mean, maybe we're doing multiple collisions. This side of it, what the tutorial did was fetch the object from collisions other, which is the response. So if you go back to here, and I enable my browser because now we actually need it. Then other is the sprite that we collided with. We are fetching that value from the array that is given back to us. And then we do if collided object equals, no, a collided object is a enemy. Oh no, it was like that. I skipped the line. I was like, but what happens if there are multiple things? You do this. You do the fetching inside of the collision pairs. This is what I was missing. Collision, collision, other. Yes. Okay. I was like, this doesn't handle multiple collisions, which technically could happen. So if we collide with an enemy, then we do collided object remove, right? I remove that object, and when I've done with all the checks and because of length is greater than 0, I remove the bullet itself. So we do self remove, right? So let's make our enemy slower. Okay, shoot it down. Let's reset it. Oh, field is not callable. What is your syntax then? Oh, it's instance. It's instance. Instance. There. It is semicolon. We're calling the instance object, like the instantiated. It's already existing. Ah. Collided object is a. Oh, I have a capital A. Please. Wheeze. There we go! America! Wow. Let's quickly try to do the emitter as well. That was weird. I might just copy that for now. New file. Enemy spawner. Lua. I still want all these. Even the enemy as well, right? Because this was some timer shenanigan. So what was happening here? It said local spawn timer. This is the timer that we are using to count down. And then we do function sort spawner. Oh yeah, this was where we needed to seed mod random, yeah. This is yet again my today's rant. Why are engines or frameworks not setting their seed by default? Set it to a random by default. I will set to a static one if I want to. Why do I need to do it by hand? I don't care, do it yourself. It was get seconds till epoch. So we are just randoming with our current time. Okay. We do create timer. This is gonna be a new function. Which is function create timer. Let's go, you did it. Let's go, indeed. And like, this is what I'm talking about. It is a very simple game. Like, I've done this 100 times already in other games. But it is giving us some success. It is doing something, and we are learning the engine in the meantime. Local spawn time. math random. So we have, I know this is Luo math, right? So with 2 we have a random value between them in an integer way. Spawn timer equals PD. This is something new. PD.timer.perform after delay. We will look into quickly in the API in a moment. Spawn time. So this is a callback function that will be executed after the time has passed. So function, and the function that we are doing is create a timer and spawn an enemy. This create timer thing sounds amazing because I did so much like tick-based timers in Picoid that it is a chore. So we want to spawn an enemy function. Spawn enemy, and which can be enemy mod random. Oh no, this is X, so this is outside of the screen, like for 10, and the Y is the random, so that is going to be mod random. This is the vertical position on the screen. Mod random from 10 to, what is it, 240, so it is 230 if you give some leeway on the up and the bottom. Yeah, we don't need to do anything here, nothing else. What we want to do is a stop pair function, stop spawner, or what we have in the tutorial. I'm not sure why exactly we have this. Sees this. If spawn timer, then remove the spawn timer. I guess, yes. And it does an enemy clear function. I guess this is to reset the game, right? Clear enemies. Oh, this is new. So it looks like you can do something like local all sprite equals gfx gfx sprite get all sprites. You can ask for all the sprites in the game that currently exist. Then you can do for this sprite in hypers all sprites do, and if sprite, oh, I see, we do is a enemy, then we can call this by hand, see if it works. Right, move. And we just need to call this, like create a spawner in main, right? So all we have to do is go to the main, come up to here, do import enemy spawner, and when we set up the game, we can get rid of this one enemy and do enemy spawner. And if you reboot, you see nothing. No. Oh, the timer, the timer. We need to update the timer, right? That is why nothing is happening. Because we set a timer, which we're gonna look into in a moment. Oh, I have update timers. Enemy spawner. Oh no, start spawner. That is what we need, not enemy spawner. Start spawner. We need to boot it up. No. Okay, what did I mess up? Console is not yelling to me about anything. Let's see, what did I mess up here? Spawn time. Create timer, create timer, spawn enemy. Spawn enemy. Create an enemy, yes. Sub spawner, we don't care. Clear enemies. Hello, what are you crying about? Import enemy spawner. Wait, what? What is your problem here? No such file, enemy spawner? Oh, it is in the images. Oops. Oopsie. It was in the wrong directory. Yet again, Lua doesn't like yell at me that, hey, you stupid. It is in the wrong directory, or like I cannot find this script. Oh, still nothing. What will you add after the enemy spawner? Once we go further with this, it's not gonna be much. It is not gonna be expanded much more. What I want is a bullet system that you have a certain amount of bullets and have pickups and friendlies and blocks spawning that you have to move away from. But that's all. It's not gonna be a big game. What did I mess up here? Is it possible to debug this? I haven't tried debugging this yet. So I'm not sure. Like this way. Let's stop the code execution. Doesn't look like it. Okay, so I'm either missing something. ED. Have my spawn timer perform after delay. Spawn time function. Spawn enemy. For 10 should be okay. Speed 0. Most random 10. 30. That should be okay. I haven't even seen a one. We can check that, but I don't think it is spawning anything. Because you should have seen the enemy walk. Okay, the enemy. Oh, they are spawning. Wait, what? Oh, hold on. I think I know the issue. They're spawning, but since I have the game scaled up twice, like drawing and everything, 400 is like twice the screen size. So they should not spawn at 400, they should spawn at like 210, because if you scale up the screen, then the 400 size will be divided by 2, so the edge of the screen is 200. So now they should appear faster if I reboot everything. I saw 3 added. They are here at least. I get them down. Oh yeah, they cannot spawn off screen, right? Because this is not, yet again, due to the scaling. 240 can be off screen. 240 is the default screen size. If I do it scaled up, then this should be 120, like a 110 if we want a 10 pixel border. There we go, that is much more, okay. Like this looks eerily not even enough enemies compared to like we are spawning them from like half a second to a second in between. Huh. We are missing the score, but I'm hungry. Our usual stream time is over. That you can record from this, right? Somehow. Record screen. I'm sure where it is placed, but in theory you can record. I can end the record. Oh, it asks me where I want to put this. Okay, cool. And while this is running, let me find someone to raid over. Let me find... Oh, that's me. Dinner time. Yeah. I'm raiding. Oh, nerds are up. The 2 nerdsy nerds are up with their zombie survival game in progress. So how about we jump over to them? You can spam farts in their chats if you want. Let me find the name. Can see. Control V. If you receive, thank you for tuning in. We have a raid command which will send you a cute little message if you want to paste this when we arrive so they know where we came from. You can spam fart sounds, they have a soundboard. You can go to redeem and it's like 200 points or something. They are very cool peeps, making a cool zombie survival game. But yeah, thank you everyone who tuned in. Thank you for the 210 followers on Twitch. Next stream is gonna be on Monday, so see you then. Not sure with what. Until then, take care and bye bye. See you over there.